What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for some more content for you guys. We brought you the news yesterday regarding the whole Heung-min Son, Kang-in Lee situation going on in Korea. We did say, and as a few tweets says, that, you know, they should be focusing their attentions elsewhere, and it looks as though they might be doing that just now. So let's go and have a look at Reacts, or let's go and have a look at X and see how everyone is reacting and what the news actually is. And reliable journalist Sung Mo Lee says the KFA board will have a meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. Korean time to decide Klinsmann's fate. Many Korean media reports says there's no way he could avoid the sacking at this point, as he left Korea in 2 days after the Asia Cup. This Zoom screenshot could be the last photo you see as Klinsmann as Korea head coach.
Ominous. The last you see of him. Yeah, I think, look, there's obviously rumours that they're deliberating whether to sack him. I think apparently the board want to sack him, but Chung is still holding out. I think they need to take that decision. He needs to take that advice, and I think it's the right decision. We know that the performances of the Asia Cup were just nowhere near good enough for a team with the talent that Korea has, and I think the board are leaning in the right direction when it comes to deciding that Klinsmann needs to go, because he does.
And Klinsmann apparently went as far to say that he was blaming the performances on the situation that happened, and it was like, yeah, maybe you can blame one performance. What about the performances before that?
Exactly. What about the group stage? That was, just honestly blaming everyone but himself. No accountability. Even another reason why he needs to go.
Coco says Klinsmann orchestrating the leak is looking even more plausible now that he's blaming the cup on Sonny and Kangin. He had his narrative ready, and that story, which oddly exclusively focused on those two players, even though several others were involved, almost gave it life. And it's like, those are the only two players as well that pulled you through to that point in the tournament.
Yep. And exactly, he wouldn't have been in the semi-finals if it wasn't for Sonny. Literally putting together a performance where South Korea were awful in that game. They were terrible. They should have been 3-0 down, yet Sonny pulled them through. He literally took on 5 men, won a penalty, and then scored from a free kick. So the fact that Klinsmann's orchestrating some sort of narrative that the reason they went out in the semi-finals because of the incident between Son and Kangin, it's like he's literally got no self-awareness.
Do you have no shame?
No shame. Absolutely no shame. So I think they need someone who's going to take accountability for his mistakes, take ownership of what happens on the pitch, and not play the blame game.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's still in a job right now, which is, already a few days too much. Well, a few days is probably too much of the too much. But Albert Kim, look at this hero. A fan protesting outside the KFA headquarters says he will set up shop at all the HDC group offices in Chungwon-gyu, does not resign. This guy has got dedication.
Unbelievable. I love it. He's setting up at that's incredible, all the offices until Chung resigns. That is what you call a protest.
He's a hero, this guy.
What an absolute hero. And I think he's right. Chung is apparently still digging his heels in on the whole Klinsmann thing. Look, I don't know about his history with the KFA and all that stuff, so it's hard for me to say whether overall he's done a good job on it. All I can say is the Klinsmann debacle has been horrific. This whole leak stuff has been clearly orchestrated to take the focus off the KFA and Chung himself. So I think after all that, it makes his ability to stay in a job after that very, very difficult. So, but I can't really comment about before the Asia Cup because I don't know what the situation was before then.
Heung-min Dad for the job. He's the only man for it. Trey Tak says Lee Kang-in's legal representative just released a statement that Lee Kang-in never swung a fist at Song Hyun-min. Like I've been saying, we've needed to be patient and wait for the details. Speculation only hurts the players. Whoever made up that rumor needs to be investigated.
I believe him. I don't think he swung a fist, but it doesn't mean there wasn't a scuffle. It doesn't mean there wasn't a coming together. Clearly, people say that Son took issue with what Kang-in did and then, grabbed him by the collar, and then someone else started to back Son up, and it started a whole scuffle, which led to Son dislocating his finger. I don't believe Kang-in went and tried to punch him. I don't think that's probably what happened. I don't believe that, but it doesn't mean there wasn't a coming together. Obviously, he's admitted already that there wasn't a verbal argument, but Son's dislocation didn't come out of nowhere, did it? So I think I believe like people's accusing Kangin of like trying to punch Son, that's probably too far. But I do believe there was a scuffle.
Yeah, that's what my understanding of it was yesterday. That there was a coming together, not exclusively between Kangin and Sonny, but a section of the team against another section of the team, and Sonny tried to get in the middle to act as peacemaker, and as a result of it, had his fingers dislocated. I don't think anyone tried to swing at Sonny. I don't think that was ever the case.
Yeah, so I don't know who started that rumor.
This next one is again the same about Kangin Lee. We'll move on to the next one after that, which is Sons Wembley saying live scenes from the committee meeting. Klinsmann calling from California in the bottom right. You see people gathered in front of the KFA for another protest. I mean, things have just been heating up, haven't they?
Yeah, imagine like England supporters like protesting outside the FA to like get Southgate sacked or McLaren sacked or something like that. It's very rare you see that kind of thing happening to get a manager sacked. So there's clearly a lot of passion about the fact that Klinsmann is still the manager, the fact that they can't currently protest outside the KFA. That is quite significant, I would say. Although it doesn't seem to be like widespread protest. I don't know how many people are there, but that is quite significant that they're protesting him. And I think they have the right to be heard after what was a terrible tournament performance-wise. So it's interesting, very interesting.
What do you think like the reaction would be in England if something similar did happen? Like England go into a tournament being by far one of the best two teams in the tournament. The majority of the teams in the tournament are, not really up to a standard of Korea and Japan. Let's put it that way.
Oh, look, we went to Iceland, didn't we?
Yeah. We went out to Iceland. Is that, yeah, I get that. We did go out to Iceland, but we were never like favourites to go and win a tournament. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
but that was probably more embarrassing than what happened.
Who was the manager when we went out to Iceland?
Hodgson.
I mean, he was a lot of backlash to that, wasn't there?
Yeah,
and the FA acted straight away.
I mean, yeah, there wasn't protest, but they were never considering taking him on, keeping him on. That's probably why they were never protest as well. So, yeah, I mean, if they decided to keep Hodgson after that, would there have been protests? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if they would have gone that far.
I think like, different societies and different countries do things in different ways. And I think the way they do it in England is more like definitely comes out through the media a lot more, and the media absolutely lambast these kind of people.
What I would argue is it's more in the stands.
Maybe
shouting in the stands, this and that, and you're getting sacked in the morning, or you're a wanker, or something like that.
That's you're a wanker.
Yeah, exactly. All these different things, but it's interesting. They're going to protest outside the KFA about Klinsmann. I just find that look. Clearly, he's being put under pressure, and clearly, maybe it's having an effect. But I do find it interesting. That's the lengths they're going to.
And credit to them, to be fair. Credit to them. Korean Football News reported earlier saying that as a result of the meeting, the KFA Technical Committee have agreed that Jurgen Klinsmann should be dismissed. The results of the meeting will be reported to the KFA. It does not mean that Klinsmann will be dismissed immediately, but Chairman Chung Mong-gyu's final decision is needed. And I mean, this decision we should have come to this decision already. Like, why are we still waiting?
I don't know what they're waiting for. I think it's the writing's on the wall at this point. So I think we just have to rip the Band-Aid off and then we can start to move forward.
Albert Kim says, the more I listen to the quotes, the more I'm convinced that the KFA leaked the Sung Hyun-min and Lee Kang-in story to the press. When asked to clarify the facts of the incident, Hwang Bo said that there was to focus on the manager and the Asian Cup performance.
I mean, the timing is definitely interesting. The time of when the news was leaked, the quickness in which they confirmed the story, the reason they confirmed the story at all as well, the KFA, is all very suspicious, I would say. So, I mean, I think anyone really into the fact that they feel that they released this news to take the pressure off them, I think there's validity to that. Obviously, it's nothing 100% confirmed, but you can never really say for certain that's the case. But, I mean, it's compelling evidence.
Yeah. Sungmo tweeted out a while back, well, not a while back, but in the last 10 hours saying the KFA announced 8 members of the KFA committee widely agreed to the Klinsmann is not right position to lead South Korea international team anymore. They'll report the agreement to the chairman of the KFA, then there will be a decision. And then Fighting Stripes Football quote retweeted it and said that the KFA committee will ask Chung to terminate Jurgen Klinsmann. Whether that happens in another question, but that lacks of answers regarding to the leak is disturbing. Protect your players, and especially players that have given so much to your country, like the likes of Heung-min Son, like a national hero.
Exactly. You don't leak that kind of information. I said it yesterday. When those kind of things happen, just say no comment, or don't have to read into rumors and speculation and allow people to speculate. You don't have to confirm the rumor of a scuffle. There's only one reason to do it, and that's to distract from where the ire is coming, because the ire is focusing right now towards Klinsmann and the KFA. That's what everyone's been talking about ever since the Asia Cup. You know, Klinsmann's got to go, the KFA are under pressure. And so I can only think of one reason why they would do that. Because I think, I'm just trying to think about if there's something happening in England and, you know, there's a scuffle between, you know, Harry Kane and Phil Foden, you know, in the dressing room, would the FA come out and confirm the story? I don't know. I just think they would.
No chance.
Comment.
No chance.
I don't see the reason why they would confirm it. What's the reason to? They just allow people to speculate and then it'll blow over. Like, why confirm it? And now it's created a whole other story. The fact they've come and said, oh, yeah, this is all true, and, you know, give details. It's a bit weird.
They've put themselves in a right shitstorm here, the KFA, for no reason, pretty much. All they needed to do was do what they know they needed to do, and that was sack Klinsmann. That was it. You know what I mean? Like, all this stuff about Kangin Lee and Son, it's just a smokescreen. It's just something that doesn't need to be out in the open. It's ridiculous. Sungmo says Kangin's lawyers denied the Korean reports that Lee threw a punch at Heung-min Son's face. The issue is huge in South Korea. Of course, it implies there were physical assaults between two of the biggest football stars in Korea right now, which was denied by Lee's side. I mean, we spoke about that. Kangin's left lung have tweeted.
He's tweeted, has he?
He's tweeted. And he says, Kangin says, I'm sorry. Sun Koo-min says, it's my fault. Chung says, it's their fault. And Klinsmann is just smiling.
That's pretty much the situation right now.
Sheila says they're blaming the players as the cause of their loss in the Asia Cup. Even if Sonny and Kangin didn't have a ping pong problem, I don't think it's the result that would have been different at that time. And that's 100% spot on. Like, the reason South Korea went out the Asia Cup was not because of anything that happened between Son and Kangin. The reason is because of Klinsmann and Klinsmann alone.
Of course, the performance level, that result was coming. That result was obviously a shock because of where Jordan are when it comes to like the rankings and where Korea are and all that kind of stuff, and the players they both have. But let's be honest, that performance wasn't a shock when it comes to how we've seen Korea perform in the tournament. Like, that result had been coming. They should have went out to Saudi Arabia. They got away with that one.
Australia.
They should have gone out to Australia. They got away with that one. And then Jordan was unfortunately the worst of the lot. That is true. But that performance, that result was coming with the performances they were putting in. You can't keep relying on last minute moments to get you through. You need to show throughout the whole tournament, throughout your performance, that you deserve to be winning at certain points and deserve to go through rounds. And that's not what Korea showed throughout the whole tournament. So I don't blame it on that incident, because what do you blame the Australia and the Saudi performances on? Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's true, that tweet.
Absolute common theme throughout the whole tournament. And the last one that we're going to go through is Albert Kim saying, to nobody's surprise, the KFA committee will recommend Chung to fire Klinsmann. The disturbing part is how the KFA is dodging questions about the leak involving Song Heung-min and Lee Kang-in. I mean, they were so quick to confirm it, and now they're just dodging all these questions.
Talk about it.
Yeah, you know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, now you do the no comment, of course. Yeah, like, come on. It's so transparent at this point, what you're trying to do, and I think it's ridiculous, and I think they've made a balls up of this whole situation.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's all we have for you today. Hopefully by the next time we speak to you, Klinsmann will be out of the job, but that is where we're at this moment in time. But thank you everyone for watching us today, and we'll see you next time.